Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of Business 101. The point of this series is to teach you how to make and save money so that you can depend on yourself and on no one else. Because I think financial independence is the number one most important thing for men and women around the world to have better and happier lives and safer lives. So I hope you're able to learn something from this series. Please comment below what you liked and learned, and I'll see you at the end of the episode. Get your pen and paper, take some notes, and enjoy. This is Lung. She is also known as the mother of social dragons. She's a social media strategist for people and companies. Her mission is to empower creative people to take over the world. Okay, hi Dot. Thank you so much for coming today to empower everyone and teach them all the things about sales funnels and how that works and your dragons method.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to share everything I know about the Dragons formula and how it can help your sales funnel.
Perfect.
So hello everyone, my name is Dot, aka Mother of Social Dragons. You can find me anywhere on social media at .lung, at DOTLUNG. Dot is short for Dorothy, and Long means dragon in Mandarin. And that is basically how I came up with this personal brand for all the work that I do. I'm a social media strategist for brands like Wix.com, Facebook, Off Festival, Motionographer, and many other digital brands that empower creative people to take over the world. So I recently was able to generate $50,000 from one single Instagram post, and there was no bots, no ads. Everything was completely organically, and it was actually just by accident. I'll just read to you like the
I
post.
need this accident to happen to me. Yes, go ahead.
I recently moved from Barcelona to Tel Aviv, and I didn't know anyone. I don't speak Hebrew, and I was just chasing my dream. I was chasing the love of my life. And so in this post, I wrote, just a California girl living the Mediterranean dream coast to coast. As a little girl growing up in LA, I always saw myself as a world traveler and dreamed of living in Europe so I can meet all types of people from all different countries. After thriving in Barcelona for 7.5 years, I'm off to my next chapter across the Med. I'm officially moving to Tel Aviv. And so this is where I, explain why did I move there? I fell in love, and I'm in love with the Middle East. Life is too short to be living in one place your whole life. From this organic post, not even asking, I wasn't looking for sales. I was literally just, sharing, authentically what I'm doing, who I am, and sharing, what the next exciting thing is in my life. I was contacted not by a company that wanted to work with me, just a girl that is also American that also moved to Tel Aviv. And she was actually a Pilates teacher. Okay. And I don't even do Pilates. But this is the power of what one-to-one connection and dialogue can do for your business. Because from attracting this one Pilates teacher that I didn't even know to be interested in what I had to say, we were able to open up a direct message and eventually, become friends. And she eventually introduced me to my anchor client now in Israel, not even knowing, like, she doesn't even know anything about social media. She just saw that it was something I did and, decided to introduce me to a company that needed social media services. So that's with one post, right? Obviously, at this point, I think I might have had maybe under 10,000 followers at this point.
And what did you
This
have to
was
do
really
for the company? Like, what was the contract? Is this like for X amount of time, or is it for X amount of work that you're
yes.
doing?
So it was for a 6-month contract,
Okay.
setting up a new brand setting up a new brand on Instagram.
Okay.
So that's basically what I do now is I help brands and companies set up their Instagram account. So using the Dragons formula. And the reason why I was able to, monetize off that post and build my business completely only with Instagram is through this formula. And the formula is my life's work. This is everything that I have learned on my own in the last 8 years doing Instagram professionally. And it's a formula that you can actually apply to any type of social media content. It's not just for Instagram, but it combines these 6 elements. And those 6 elements are dialogue, relatability, authenticity, giving value, opinion, and niche. So if you're able to actually use and integrate these 6 elements into your content strategy, you will then be able to generate sales automatically without feeling like a gross, sleazy salesperson. Um, Similar to like the post that I just showed you, that people are just going to be attracted to you and they want to work with you and help you succeed, because you're just putting yourself out there authentically and transparently. So the dialogue element is all about opening these one-to-one conversations and building relationships, because on social media, dialogue is visibility. If you're not having one-to-one conversations or generating conversations on your posts in the comments or in private message, you are not visible. So the way the algorithm works is that if you have more conversations and more comments in your comments or in private messenger, you're going to be able to develop more trust and visibility for your content. And this is super important because the main reason why social media was even invented was so that we could have dialogue, human to human conversation. And this is the whole dialogue piece. I go over all of these elements in my course that I'll share with you later if you're interested. But the second piece of the dragon is all about relatability. The more relatable you are to your target audience, the more likes you will get. And that is a law, right? If you want more likes, you need to be more relatable. Relatable content is the type of content that is evergreen. It will always be relevant in the newsfeed because it's so relatable. How do you create this type of content that's relatable? Well, you're really good at that. You use storytelling, right? So storytelling is something that will make us humans feel an emotion. When we feel an emotion, that's feeling human. That is making it relatable. So the more emotion you can make people feel, the more likes you will get. And it's direct correlation. The next piece in the dragon is that authenticity piece. This is knowing what you stand for and really being transparent, because your vibe attracts your tribe. The worst thing you can do on social media is fake it till you make it and attract the wrong type of followers. This is going to drive you to, the Instagram roller coaster of people following and unfollowing, because you are not being your true authentic self. The more you can really embrace your weirdness and wave your freak flag, as they call it, the more authentic following you will get. And you don't need 1 million followers. You just need good, true followers. The fourth piece is the most important part and the backbone of the Dragon's formula, which is all about giving value. So giving value is the most important thing that you need to be doing on social media every day, because social media is a value exchange. So the more value you give, the more you will get. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this in his New York Times bestseller, Jab, 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 Right Hook, which is, giving, 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 and then asking for the sale. This is like one of the most important elements. So think about all the ways that you can deliver value to your audience. And how do you deliver value? Well, think about how you can help someone, right? So how can you help someone save time, save money, look good, do something better? How can you inspire them? How can you motivate them? These are all things that will deliver value. The fifth part of the Dragons formula is having a damn opinion. The way that you're able to instigate and get more people commenting and having dialogue with you is by posting opinionated or polarizing content. It's just a strategy that you can use to start conversation. The last part of the Dragons formula is niche. This is super important to know exactly who your target audience is and who are you actually trying to speak to, because if you speak to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. So know exactly what your smallest viable audience is, or what Seth Godin calls your SVA, smallest viable audience. This is the niche market and the exact person you're trying to target. Because in reality, you don't need like 2,000 likes on any post. You don't need more than 250 likes. If you have, consistently, 100 people liking your content, that is super valuable. Those are all warm leads. And you have an amazing sales funnel because you have a very broad audience, right? So you can even niche down in the audience.
It's too broad, yeah, in some ways, where it's quite broad, so I'm not hitting a super.
It depends for your product.
Yeah.
So it depends. You could have a product for the broad audience and then like something very niche, like for your, this retreat boot camp, you can have a video retreat for different types of people. So maybe 1 month you do one for, coaches or consultants, and the other one you do it for filmmakers. There's just so many different groups. And like for me, my niche are creative people, artists and designers, and people that are trying to make a living with their art. I always want to help these people. So that's kind of my niche and who I speak to. So after all of these elements, it took me 8 years to really master each of these things. So it's not something you can just do overnight. You need to practice it every day. You need to practice authenticity every day. You need to, practice the art of conversation so you can get good at having a dialogue and, producing storytelling content. That's something I'm still learning, and that's why I want to take your digital retreat or your retreat in Bali to learn more about how to do storytelling with video, right? These are all things that take time to master, and it takes time to become a dragon. But after you do, get a grasp on each of these elements, you can move to the most interesting part of becoming a dragon, which is selling and scaling. And this is the S in the Dragons formula, which is all about sales, right? And all dragons have scales. So we want to use our scales to scale our sales and make millions of dollars, right? That's the goal. And this is like something that I'm even practicing. I created this framework, but I'm still practicing, how to put myself out there and do sales. And we had a conversation about this. It's a bottleneck to your entire sales funnel. You can have, everything perfect, but if you don't know how to sell, that's going to be difficult. And I've been there, you've been there. This is something that that we're all trying to get better.
Figure out the right way to do it. Yes.
So since this session is all about, sales funnels and like the step-by-step on how we can do it, let's kind of start from like what the goal is of your funnel. It's essentially a way, any way. You can do it like with email, you can do it with a website, you can do it with a chatbot. Or you can do it in person, right? It can be, old school, like human to human, the real life conversation. But the point is to get your cold leads, people that don't know you at all, to becoming warm leads, to having them like learn more about you and get interested in your product. And then finally to hot leads where they're ready to buy or convert to whatever you're offering them. So that's all a sales funnel is. It's taking from somebody that doesn't know you or your brand to somebody that is going to buy. So what does this process look like? Well, we've all seen this upside down triangle, which I call the tofu, mofu, bofu sales funnel, because who doesn't love tofu? I know you do.
My boyfriend hates tofu, but we're converting him slowly.
That's so funny. So the tofu is basically means like top of the funnel, okay? And then mofu, middle of the funnel, and bofu, bottom of the funnel. You're super good at doing the tofu part because you have millions of views and followers on your top of the funnel content, which is your amazing video content and all the videos that you're producing.
Yeah.
I put here like in the top of the funnel, these could be lifestyle ads to build reach. This could be branded storytelling video ad, or it could be a freebie. But this is your attraction magnet, like all about attracting the people that you want to be engaging with or the community that you want to build. So here you can see I put like, I know it. This is like when people like get to know you for the first time. This is your first impression you have on anyone. So it should be impressive, right? If it's really good and like people are super engaged with your video, or they're engaged with your ad, or they really want this free PDF or whatever it is that you're using to attract people, you can then funnel them down to the middle, the MOFU, which is, when they're in a consideration phase and they're thinking and learning more about what you have to offer or what you're about. And, they're starting to like you, or they're starting to like your products. Yeah. And this can be done, through carousel ads. It could be done through educational posts, right? This is where we really want to teach more about, why it's important, to know whatever the product is. Okay, so I mean, this example, it could work for product, or it could work for your course or your coaching business, whatever it is that you're selling. It could be a workshop. So you want to, after you attract them, you want to start educating them, right? And the last part of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel, this is your offer. This is where you're actually going to tell them what the product is and, how much you're selling it for, and, all the benefits, and all the amazing features and bonuses that are going to come.
Can you give us an example of a sales funnel you did or you did for one of your clients? Like, what was your freebie or your first ad? What was your second educational aspect? And then what was your angle for the targeting and what you were offering?
Sure. I don't have the example here.
Verbally is fine. Yeah.
Okay. So for example, for the online course that I just launched 2 months ago, I launched it on March 11th, 3/11. I will never forget it because that was the day that we all went into quarantine in Israel. I was like, oh my God, like this is such great timing, right? It was actually, a blessing in disguise because nobody had anything to do besides take online courses.
Exactly.
And for this course, we actually created a series of different ad assets. So there was like a video ad. There was also just a still image. So we had basically a short video ad that talked about my Dragons formula. That's like, hey, are you interested in learning about Instagram to increase your business, to have business growth? So,
and who did you
this was like
target at the top of the funnel? Like, who were you?
These are all the people that I want to work with, that I want part of my community, are creative people. So graphic designers, illustrators, animators, maybe video makers, photographers, people that are working in the creative industry that need to get more visibility about what their work is about.
And was it certain countries or ages or just?
So yeah, that's a good question. We actually had we launched with two main groups. One is the English speaking community, which is in US and Canada.
Okay.
I don't think and then probably London. So there are three countries that we targeted for these creative communities. And then we also targeted in Spanish speaking countries. So all the countries in South America and Spain, mainly because the platform that I'm working with, it's a Spanish, actually originally it's from Barcelona. I was living in Barcelona for 8 years. So we targeted both English and speaking communities in the creative fields.
So your course had subtitles in Spanish, or you also recorded it in Spanish?
The course, the ad had subtitles in Spanish, and the copy was also written in Spanish as well. So we had many ads running, mainly one in English and one in Spanish. But the one in Spanish, it was still me speaking English, but with Spanish subtitles.
And so then when they get to the end of the sales funnel and you want them to take your course, can they take your course in Spanish?
Yes, the course is subtitled in Spanish.
Got it. Okay, got it. Interesting. Cool. All right.
So,
and did you have ages that you targeted, or any age?
So the age is, I think the age is anywhere from 18 to 40. It's very broad, mainly because we had a lot of budget. There's not a lot of budget, but there was a budget to do the testing to see which age group would convert higher. So on Instagram, this is, from the 20 to 35 age range.
Okay. And why
Facebook,
did you have a budget? Where did the budget come from? Is it your personal savings? Is it from Facebook or Instagram as like a test amount, or?
So my entire ad campaign was completely sponsored by the company Domestika, who I worked with. So I don't have the exact figures on how much they're spending, but they've already paid for 1.5 million views on one of my video ads. So depending on how, like, let's say you're paying 20 cents per view. They've already paid 1.5 million views on that. So unlike you, where you get organically millions of views.
I'm like, it's free or nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. No. But this is the difference, right? You can do a completely paid sales funnel with ads and doing retargeting. So people that, by the time that they already know me, then they start liking my content. They check out what I'm doing. They're reading, all the content on the sales page, but they might not have purchased yet. We'll reinvest in remarketing them and basically investing more money in the people that have engaged already. Because if you didn't engage, we don't want you. We only want the people that have expressed, that have liked, commented, or that have actually landed on the landing page. So we're able to throw them even more ads. And that's probably how you saw my ad, because you might have liked it or clicked something, and then it pixeled you. So once it pixeled you, it started chasing you all around the internet. It started chasing you, on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Google. You're going to see my ad. And that's because you're kind of putting your ad in their face so that they remember, and they remember to buy.
Yeah. And when this Domestica company worked with you, now I'm guessing, so there's the reason that they would cover your ad spend, I'm guessing you had something to do, like they sponsored your class or something, so you promoted them during your class, or how was that structured?
Yes, so this is I would say it's an affiliate structure, and we have a rev share. So they are the sponsors for the entire production and filming of the course. They produce it. I only just needed to go there and provide my content, and they filmed and edited the whole thing. They created all the ads. They do everything.
Wow.
So that's why I chose to work with them, because I told you earlier, that's why I don't do video.
Yeah, you're like I need someone to tell me how to do it, so I don't have to pay them to do it next time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually recruited by them to basically be one of their first English speaking teachers. They have hundreds of teachers, but most of them are in Spanish. I think I was like the second teacher in English, the first one being the creative director at Instagram. And I was the second Instagram course they had in English. So it performed really well. So they had a very good advantage because they already have an entire community.
Platform. Your course that is on Domestica is the platform.
Yes.
Okay. Like one of the teaching platforms. Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. RevShare is basically, because they are the company that is putting forth all the initial investment, the shooting, the ads, everything. I don't have to do anything. They also paid me to go film the course. I split the revenue with them. So They actually get 75%, of the sales, if it comes from their link, right? Because but then, I'm sorry, I get 75% if it comes from my link.
Oh, okay. So whoever's link is
yes.
Okay, I was like,
you can negotiate the rev share, but for my contract, I get 75% if it comes from my link, but most of the time it's going to come from their link because they're running all the ads. But for you, it will be different because you actually get a lot of organic traffic, so you will get a majority of that, which is going to be amazing for you, right? Yeah. This might work really well for you because you will be able to send all your organic traffic, whereas usually if you don't have organic traffic, you're going to have to run a lot of ads.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if people don't know you, but if you already have a community.
This is great for people who don't have a big audience but have something great to teach, because if they're going to do the ads and everything for you, I mean, so let them take a big percentage because, it's putting you out there.
Take a look at the courses that they have to offer. They're mostly in Spanish, but they're amazing courses. They have the best of the best that are teaching you, crochet or paper mache, like how to. They have all sorts of things, like branding, design, illustration, Photoshop, drawing. Yeah, I have.
What was your favorite course that you would recommend?
Right now, I'm taking Sagi Haviv's logo design course. Not because I'm going to be a logo designer, but I just am so fascinated with how his thinking process is and how he goes about design. And he's from Tel Aviv, so that's why I was, I'm learning all about Israeli artists and Israeli creatives right now, because it's a real niche. And this is like the next niche I'm really diving into, obviously, because I'm living here.
All roads lead back to Jerusalem, to Israel.
Exactly. Sure. Anyways, guys, the tofu, mofu, bofu sales funnel, this is basically how it works on or offline. Okay. On or offline, it works like that. Now, what I want to teach you is the AIDA formula to actually use in all of your content and your sales funnel and anything that you do that you want to attract and get people to take action. What AIDA, this is not a new concept. This was invented in like the 1800s or seriously like early 1900s by a grandfather marketing guru, like a legit guru.
Legit one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. And it's basically stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. And this is the magic formula for grabbing someone's attention. So this could work for video content, or it works simply for how you do copywriting and direct response messaging online. You always want to start and to grab attention. You know this. Actually, I should learn this from you. You're excellent at it with all of your videos, because actually I know that you script your videos out first, right?
I have the hook. I call it the hook, but it's the same concept.
That's it. That's what the attention is the hook. You've got to hook them with something crazy, right? Something that's shocking that will grab their attention.
Exactly.
The next is, get them interested in your product, the benefits and how it's going to actually, possibly change their life, right?
Yeah.
So taking them from hooking them to creating like interest about what you're doing and why it's important, right? Sharing with them why it's important, to getting them to really desire you, or it's desire you or your product. I used to always say social media was like easy for me because it's like just getting someone to fall in love with you, right? Get somebody to marry you. That's what this sales funnel is all about. And that's when they take action. That's when you ask for the proposal. Will you marry me is basically when you're asking, like, will you buy this product from me? It's like the whole process is exactly aligned.
It's so
because
true.
It's so true, because you should never ask somebody to marry you on the first date, right? You first need to get their attention. You got to look sexy, be attractive, right? Get that bikini body, and then they'll be interested. You date them for a while, take them out on a couple dates, build that desire to third base. You don't want to give everything away. And then finally, after a few dates, you might, start going steady and do business together. Do the dirty business.
Do that.
So this is a formula that works for any copywriting that you do for ads. This is how you should actually
love this.
Create your sales page. This is how you can do your videos.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to learn your formula for your videos, so whatever content creation craft you're best at. Like mine happens to be, I'm better at doing copywriting and making Instagram posts. So I do my funnel in Instagram, for example. But you might be good at, video. You are good at video. So you can do your entire funnel just with sending videos to your email list, or creating pages with just video content, right? Other people, they have their full funnel just on Facebook Messenger, and it's like automated.
Oh, crazy.
Some people have their full funnel just on email, right? So choose the category that you're best at doing. But essentially, you want to apply the AIDA formula to your funnel. Okay, so whether that's video, whether that's Instagram, I'm going to show you an example with Instagram after this. But the attention is all about piquing your curiosity, hooking the consumer, like what you're saying. Interest is all about getting them engaged, educating them about the product or brand. And then finally, you want to ignite desire. So you can start offering your pricing and benefits and features.
Yeah.
Get them to engage more with the brand. And then finally, you are actually ready to, ask them to buy, okay? Or to sign up for your email list, whatever it is that you want them to
Action
take
or
action on.
download your app or, whatever. Go to your event. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go to your event. Because I actually worked with many festivals and events, and this is the formula that we use. We first need to get their attention, get them interested in why they want to come, build up the hype, right? Build up the hype. Um, you know,
So for the original sales funnel, I understand it is just the concept of a large group to a small group. Now, when you're using the ADA method that you use, is A, I, D, and A all in one post, or is this like multiple touch points over time with the same customer with different posts?
good question. Good question, and it can be both.
Okay.
I've seen this applied over time, like so through various like Instagram posts, like a series. Okay, first we start with attention, and then you just follow this formula, right? And post by post. You might want to do like 3 posts and then 2 posts, whatever content that you have to get out there. But it also, just in terms of like an ad, right? Like let's say you have to write a Facebook ad. You can start out, with the headline, which is the hook, okay, as the first line, and then what the product is about to get their interest, and then what the offer is, and then the call to action. These 4 lines, attention, AIDA, that could be each one sentence. Think of it like if you were just creating an ad, it can just be a 4-sentence ad.
This is how I write this is so important for anyone watching. This is how I write any post I've done, even before I was, a video maker. When I was just posting in Facebook groups, my posts would always do really well because I followed, maybe not perfectly this method, but definitely the attention awareness and the first line, like capital letters, emojis, something interesting. Like right now in my Facebook group, Girls Gone Global, which is like just women from around the world. It has no business.
Oh yeah, I'm in that group.
Yeah, you should share your story sometime. I'm sure that just put that post in the group; they'll love it. And that's what I do and I'm trying to teach women how to write effectively by policing the post. So, for example, in Girls Gone Global, to do a post, you have to follow the format, and the format includes a title. And this is a simple way of like subconsciously teaching them like you need a title to catch the attention of the viewer, even if it's just Meatless Monday, anything so that they know it's coming. Because a lot of people, the point of their post is unclear. They make too many points in one post. And so this is like great advice to help people like put a title even, or put a strong first sentence or exclamation marks or a question or something that kind of draws the attention. Yes, agree. Continue.
Always put the headline. So you got to think like a tabloid. Right? Think like a magazine or a newspaper. Yeah, think like a tabloid. Like, why do they sell so many tabloids? Because they've got the craziest hooks and attention-grabbing headlines. And that's each Instagram post you make, it's got to have that headline. People aren't going to pause the feed to read your boring sorry. So make it interesting. You've got to like really grab them.
Exactly.
And that's the secret, really, because if it doesn't have an attention grabbing headline, they will not read the rest ever.
Yes. And if any of you watching, go to her Instagram or go to my Instagram, go to someone's Instagram that you think does well and that you admire, and kind of look at the format of the post. Not every post is perfect, but I know my last post, the first line is capital letters, scholarship announcement, right? You know what it is. You know it's a scholarship. It's exciting. What's the scholarship for? Competition. You want to engage, right? And I'm sure with dots, you have some catchy first sentence like, I never wanted to move abroad. And then she goes into why she loves it now, right? But there is that's how you can get inspired. If you're sitting at home and you're like, I don't understand, just go look, and then you can maybe like copy a little bit for your first few until you get in the zone. Continue.
All right. So when you're selling and scaling, you've got to remember you are making content for your dream client or your customer. It's not about you. It's always about them. So, appeal to what their problems are and what their pain points are. It's sales 101. You really want to focus the solution that you can offer your client or your consumer. Okay. That is the basic of sales. Oh, this is really cool. I didn't put in the slides, but my friend of mine, Chris Do, he teaches sales. He also teaches creative people how to sell. And sales is actually an acronym, SALES. The first S in sales is to serve. Okay. The S is all about serving, and social media and selling is all about how you can be of service to your dream client. It's not more than that. You do not have to feel like a sleazy salesperson, because you're not. You have to know that you are there to exist in service of someone and provide them a service. So think about how you can serve them. The A in sales is for ask, okay? Asking the right questions, okay? That's what happens during a sales call, is like, you actually shouldn't be talking. You need to be listening, right? That's what the L is for. So asking and listening is the most important part of sales. And then E is having empathy, right? So you need to understand what the problems and the pain points and have empathy for your clients. And the last part is summarize. After, the sales call, you summarize, what their issues are. Yeah, what happened. So summarize everything for them. And that is sales.
All my notes I'm taking. So many notes.
Yeah. So I just love this acronym, because it really doesn't have to be more complicated than that you should always come from a place of servitude. And that's part of, the G in the Dragons formula, is that you always have to be giving, and, thinking how you can deliver more value and give and give and give and serve and serve and serve. If you come from a place of servitude, you will sell. Like, you're not going to have a problem selling, because people are going to know you, like you, trust you, and they want to do business with you. And never forget to tell them how they can take action. This is something people forget, is when you are making a sales post, like, make sure have the call to action. Okay. Because if you don't tell them what to do, they're not going to do anything. They're just going to consume it. And then they didn't know that they had to click here or put their email address here. And you've got to literally, people on the internet have like a 5th grade reading level. So make it easy.
Yeah.
Like, make it as easy as possible. And so if you can do the entire dragon, okay, organically, you can do sales organically, this is the time you can actually scale it with ads. So my recommendation is never to like put ads on anything if it doesn't work organically. If it doesn't work organically, like, hell, it's not going to work that well with ads.
Students, I'm like, make 10 videos or 5 videos, choose the one that organically performed the best, and that's the one you can put your ad spend on. I totally agree. Otherwise,
yeah, that's a smart way to go. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you one quick example of how you could apply the AIDA principle. Not only, like, we talked about how you can do it on a Facebook ad with just 4 sentences. Here's a way that you can do it with Instagram stories, because I know you're really good at video. So this could be a way for you to
sell all my retreats, girl, only on stories.
Yeah, exactly. You are already doing that, so you're a pro. This is I would like to know your formula, but this is a formula how, you could create your stories on highlights. Okay. Your Instagram story highlights is a sales funnel. Okay. Or you can make it a sales funnel. I don't have this on mine because I'm not selling anything currently besides my course. You can click the link in my bio for that. But when I launch, my signature program, I'm sure as hell I'm going to be doing this, which is the first 15-second story. Or it doesn't, if you're not good at video, make it, a graphic design, make it illustration, animation, photography, whatever it is that you're good at. Maybe it's not, facing the camera, but if it is, tell us what the solution is that you have. Like, what is it? What is it that you are selling? What is the solution you can provide? Second is, tell us who it's for, right? Who is this product? Who is this course for? What is this program for? Exactly, right? You want to call out your niche, because then they're like, oh, this is for me. Then they can really be related. Don't say it's for everyone. Just say it's for a specific person. And then, why does this person actually need it? Okay. Show us the results, the transformation of before you use the product and after you use the product, before my weight loss program and now after the weight loss program. Like, show your case studies. What's your social proof? Give me the testimonials here. And this can even be like a series of stories. Like, what I've been doing is posting all my course reviews. Like, I have like 98% positive reviews. I had like hundreds of them. So that's hundreds of pieces of story content right there. Result, 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 result.
So these don't need to be in this order. It's just these need to at some point reach your consumer.
It doesn't necessarily need to be in this order. You should put in an order that tells the story, but these are important highlights that you should keep pinned. It could also just be an all-in-one, sales pitch story, so you can organize it the way that you want. But the point is, you need to have this content. If you're selling, you need to have all this content there. What's also interesting is in your stories, you can really give your USP, right? What's your unique selling point? Why should we choose you over everybody else? Because what's your story here? What's your origin story? Why do we want to, what's your brand about? Why do we want to choose you over somebody else? A million people, okay, not a million. There are hundreds of people that have Instagram courses. I'm just one of the hundreds of people, but why do they want to work with me? Well, I share my origin story about how I'm from LA. I moved to Barcelona. Now I'm in Tel Aviv. Somebody that also wants to have this similar trajectory, or like feels, connected to me because they also are digital nomads, or they like travel. Like, that's how we're connected. We're all girls that gone global. We connect with each other, and that's why you're going to choose to interview me versus somebody else that's not so relevant to you, right? Because we have a connection. So it's really important to share some of your story. I had a lot of trouble with this early on, mainly because I'm actually really shy, and I didn't want to share my story. I didn't think I had a story. So these things take time to like process. It wasn't overnight, right? I had to, Mother of Social Media Dragons took like, 8 years of development to become, to actually be like, okay, this is what I am. So it's a personal journey, and you can share that. You should share and document your journey, because always someone that's like 5 steps behind you, and whatever you have to say will really help and make an impact for them. So always share your story on stories. That's what it's for.
On stories, I know.
Some of the common mistakes that people make when they get into online sales is they actually don't have product market fit. So the purpose of knowing what your product market fit is to know that people actually want to buy what you have to offer, and that your product, your messaging, and your pricing is aligned for this niche, or for whoever you're targeting. So many startups, like 99% of startups fail, right? Because they don't find product market fit. And actually, the first part of when you start a business or start any new product is, first you have to find PMF. There's no point in building the entire product, or the entire course, for example, if you don't have PMF. So you need to only create your minimum viable product, right? This is a version of your product that's not fully developed. It's just a website, or it's just like the first lesson of the course to actually test it in the market. Do not go build out your entire product, get all this stuff developed in China if you don't even know that you can convert it on a website? Like, it's a waste of time and money. So what you should, not waste your time, but use your time wisely for is doing as many tests for PMF as possible. So super important. This is like so important. I'm doing this, every day basically is like PMF. Like, let's see if people want, a course on this or a course on this. What are people actually interested in? Do your market research here. Figure out what's the right pricing for them. The reason why we're selling my course right now is like $10 on sale, right? Like, no joke. It's $10 because that is the price that's working great for South America. And so we can scale that. And that's the price that they're able to afford. And I'm so happy with that because I want to help as many people as possible. And if I price my course at $1,000, most people can't afford that, right? Especially when they're starting out. So I created this starter, Instagram for beginners for business growth course for beginners, because when you're beginning out, you don't have thousands of dollars to spend on education, right?
Yes.
Find your product market fit. So now I have a product like for, $10. My next product, which I'm developing, I'm creating that $1,000 product, but I understand I'm not gonna sell 13,000 courses like I did the $10 one, right? So find what the right product is for your market and make sure the pricing is aligned. But most importantly, what is the messaging and the marketing, right? Yeah. Maybe you're not doing the right messaging for this particular top niche. There's so many variables here that need to be tested. And I know one of your burning questions was, well, how much money do I spend, on this finding product market fit? And how do I know when to quit? Because that's, this is why you have to try as many things as possible, like, so that you find one that works. But obviously we're limited to our resources, to our budget. So depending on how much money you can literally budget for testing, that's the limit of your budget, right? So if you had $1 million, you could do $1 million in testing, which I was working with a corporate client. They spent like $500,000 just to find PMF. And at the end, they didn't find it yet. So now they're going to reinvest, right? So now that's like when you raise the next series of investment funding.
That makes my brain go like, oh God, oh my God.
This is why like startups or investors, like they're going to invest money in something that's already selling. Like, I don't know, like if you watch Shark Tank.
Oh girl, every night I watch Shark Tank. I have seen like almost every episode. But yeah, they have they have sales. Yeah.
Proof of concept. Yeah. So this is the most important part. I'm working on this. Like, it's not the easiest thing because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You got to create new messages, new offers, new pricing structures, right? This is the creation of the product. This is, and that's time. So however much time you have, if you have your whole life, amazing. Like, I know I'm going to be working forever. Like, because I love it. This is like the part that I love is like, it's a puzzle. It's literally a puzzle. And this is what you test out in Facebook ads. You run, 20 different type of ads to, and
if you have a small audience, you can test it for free, because I've never put ad money and I have a big audience. But if you had, you could even do it with a small audience and just see, even if a couple people buy it, even if you have, 1,000 followers, out of 1,000 people, if you're selling something for 10, 20, 30, $100, probably if it has a good PMF, at least one person will buy it. And so you can do these tests, because I always like to try to make it relatable to the big fishes and then the beginners. Because with the retreats, I mean, it's a high ticket product, especially the real life retreats are quite expensive. And so it's not just like something anyone can buy. And when there was no track history for the first couple, there's no one's ever seen it. They don't know what it's going to be. I literally just like, and I didn't want anyone to come and be disappointed. So I didn't play it up. I was like, expect nothing, hope for the best. And so you can start like with something like that. You don't have to have paid ads, and always experiment. And I think this is something that really is important to me that I learned. So maybe someone else will learn something. But for example, with the digital retreats, for a minute there, when I first launched them, I was like, maybe there's not interest. Like people are always asking me, but maybe there's not interest. And I just wasn't marketing it correctly. Like I barely was telling anyone about it because I didn't want to annoy people and bother them. So I would like really subtly mention it and just like expect people to understand what it is. And now when I do my launches, I do the Instagram story thing. I do like 15 stories in a row. It pretty much always sells out just from one series of stories. And there is a product market fit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you're not even running ads.
No
Excellent.
ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to give that example.
Okay.
A lot of people might have a good product and then they just didn't actually present it well. So yeah, tools. Okay, tools.
So I know you were asking me like how I learned all this stuff, and to be honest, I just used Google. I read a lot of stuff. I read different, and there's not even like if I had to like be like, oh, this was like my teacher or whatever, there's not. Like I kind of surveyed like many people, many of the big names, and what I like to do is take what I like from everybody and then make it my own way. If there is one person that I want to promote and I really believe in his work is Christo. CHRISDO. He's the CEO of The Future. And I recommend everybody to watch all of his free YouTube videos because they are amazing. And I wish that this YouTube channel was out when I started digital nomading in like 2010. He hadn't started it until recently, like 2 years ago. And he already, in 2 years, he went from 0 to 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, not to mention like hundreds of thousands on Instagram and other channels. But it's because it's that good. So that's a tool, right? That's a huge resource. I'm going to change my slides to say like thefuture.com is like the main resource that I learned from. But there's like, if you want to set up a freaking sales funnel, like there's so many things you can do depending on what your product is. So use Wix. I promote Wix because it's easy to use for everybody. Yeah. Shopify, if you want to have an e-commerce store. Kajabi and Teachable are great platforms to host your courses or to have sales funnels to a freebie. You don't have to use it just for a course. You can use it to store all of your freebie content at the top of your funnel to start collecting email addresses and build your audience. And then I don't know why I put ClickFunnels. I don't use it, but I
hear like about them.
It's like everyone promotes them because they have this like epic affiliate marketing strategy. And, you know, Russell Brunson is the founder and he's basically like a god in online marketing. And so everyone works with ClickFunnels because it works, right? It actually works. Like they have all the templates for sales landing pages.
Yeah.
I looked into it. I haven't used it yet, mainly because I am like really into design and I haven't, I like to custom make things and have my designer beautify it. So I'm a real snob when it comes to just using templates. And so I don't use any of these.
Okay, so
that's why I couldn't recommend any tools because that was one of your questions. I'm like, I don't know. The only tool I use is The Future.
That's interesting.
And then I hire people that are good at what they do to make my vision come into reality. But not everybody can, you know, do that because, like, for example, my personal branding, I probably spent $20K on that, right? That was after I had like saved up and okay, I'm ready to launch my personal brand. But nobody's going to spend $20K on like animations and a beautiful website. We want 10 and 1 on that. But that's because branding is really important to me. So it depends, like, if you value design or not, which I do. So I
Yeah, I
want
do
everything
too.
custom designed. Okay, so top of the line numbers on my course, I'm doing 7,000 a month, and that's with zero expenses because, as I said, Domestika is running all of the ads, so I don't have to. Spend time optimizing ads. I don't have to spend my own money investing in my ads. So that's why I chose them as a platform, and I'm getting 7K pretty consistently every month. Just from one course. I only launched it 2 months ago, so we'll see how it goes. My plan with that, because the other Instagram course, she sold like 60,000 courses, so that's kind of like my benchmark.
Like, I'm gonna hit that.
Yeah, and then I'm at whatever it takes. And then clients, I only work with 2 clients, and I'm on retainer, so I make 18,000 a month from my retainer clients. Right now, I'm obviously not speaking or doing any workshops. I would like to, have another revenue stream that, or I usually am. Every month I'm touring, basically. I'm speaking and I'm giving workshops.
Yeah.
Normally, I haven't done the digital workshop thing yet. Super busy. And I estimated all of my expenses are about 5,000 a month. Okay. This is including like home office, education, marketing, tech, Wi-Fi. So my net, I am bringing in 20K a month. Okay. And then after self-employment taxes, income taxes, I put away about 8,000 for that. So at the end, I'm clearing, 12K a month.
Wow, that's great.
Which is a great, which is good. It's great for me. Before I went freelance, I had an agency. I was building a company with my ex-partner, and I decided, you know what, it's not for me. I don't want to be running an agency. I don't want to be everybody's mother and having to delegate tasks and managing a company, because at the end, I wasn't working on what I was good at. I had to run a business, and my partner was not a good business person. He was an artist. So it was very difficult. I didn't have a good experience after I launched my first social media video production agency.
Yeah.
So I just decided after 2 years of running the agency, we did really well, but I was clearing 6 figures as well, but with way more work. Now
more work. And now,
honestly,
you set your schedule.
So this income, So this, I have to be honest, like here I'm bringing 12,000 a month, but I'm working like just a few hours a day. So
amazing.
It's not, So now so now what I'm working on is like building other products and like seeing what other products I can do. And I want to take on less clients. That's the whole goal now since I left the agency life. Is like, less clients. I mean, I have 2. So hopefully that can be 0 one day. That's the goal.
This was amazing. Thank you so much, Dot, for your transparency, for all of the lessons. I mean, like I said earlier, I learned so much. Look at all these notes I took. So I'm sure anyone who watches will learn something from this. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you got all the way to the end, that means we are now best friends. So please like and subscribe and comment if you liked it or not, and give me some feedbacks and turn on your notification bell. Okay? Okay, thanks. Bye.